Welcome back, guys. This is RJ Hari with another episode of Paramorphing TV. Today we're going to talk about a question that a lot of you have around manifesting or bringing back specific people into your life. And the title of this video is not clickbait. I was able to get someone who was out of my life for 6 years back into my life within a period of 3 months. I've seen others who've posted these kinds of success stories on different forums, the Law-of-Assumption forum, the Law-of-Attraction forum, the Neville Goddard Reddit forum, and so forth. But for those of you who are wondering if this is actually possible or just a bunch of BS, I'm here to share my testimonial. Keep in mind that the specifics of any given story don't really matter. I know a lot of you will probably say something along the lines of, oh, well, you had this going for you, or you have that going for you. But keep in mind, every person has unique circumstances and unique benefits and challenges, but they all end up manifesting back or recreating the person that they want in all of these stories. So the important thing to keep in mind is not to focus on the similarities or dissimilarities of the situation, because that's kind of a weak, disempowering mindset. What I really want you to focus on is the concept that, yes, this can be done, regardless of the most extenuating circumstances. So this is a person who we were very, very close with. I grew up with this person. He was we're just going to call him Person X for the sake of anonymity. Person X was very, very important in my childhood. He was a very, very close family friend and distant relative of my mom. We went over to his place almost every weekend when I was a kid, and we'd have dinner, we'd have a wonderful time, we'd laugh, and he treated me basically like a son. It was a wonderful, heartwarming relationship, and we enjoyed every trip we made out to Person X's place. Now, what happened about 6 years ago is Person X thought that my mom had somehow insulted his family. Long story short, he said, I never want to talk to you again. And this was not some sort of minor family feud. This was almost like one of those situations where you sign someone off for life. You cut their throat and you're like, you know what, I never want to see you again. This is never going to happen. I never want to even think of you as long as you live. So it was a really, really bad circumstance. And we went 6 years without talking or even seeing this person. In fact, he'd come to our local temple at different times, and we'd see him and we'd say hi, and then we'd, kind of pretend that he was there. He'd pretend we weren't there, and then we'd go our ways. And for so long, I'd been assuming that I had no power over the situation. So when I learned about the law of assumption, I thought to myself, you know what, this is someone that I had loved so much, had loved me so much. If the law of being, if the law of I am is absolutely true, and all things are possible to God, not some, not many, but all, I should be able to have this person back in my life. And at the time, keep in mind, Person X and his wife both hated us bitterly. So my mom was walking with me one day, and I said, let's just do a quick visualization. We're going to assume that they're on talking terms with us, and things are never better. Things have never been better. My mom was like, it's ridiculous. Things are obviously never going to be as good as they were before, let alone be better. That's fucking delusional. And I said, just do it with me. So regardless of her, whether she believed it or not, I went to the internal assumption of him hanging out with us, having a good time, and it was like I was 8 years old again. I remembered all of the wonderful memories we had. I imagined doing all of that with him in the first person, except now I was just older, right? And he had become older, obviously, through the passage of time. So I did this, and then I dropped it. This is important, right? I had total faith, and I didn't care a lot about the outcome, so I let go. 2 months pass, nothing. 3 months pass, nothing. And at this point, if you really care about a desire, a lot of people would keep insisting that it hadn't happened, and they'd create more lack. But to me, I wasn't really super attached about this, right? So I was able to drop it and kind of forget about it. 3 months later, out of the blue, and as Tom Karen likes to say on the Be Something Wonderful channel, it's never out of the blue, it's out of you, right? So I had called this forth, but I didn't recognize it, right? My dad randomly says, let's go to Pomona Temple in New York. Now, this is a temple that Person X had gone to frequently. We'd go there when we visited him at his place, and it's a beautiful place. For those of you who want to connect with the divine, Pomona Temple in New York, in Poughkeepsie, is an amazing place to go, but I'm not going to digress, right? So my dad, out of the blue, says, let's go there. And keep in mind, this is what inspired action looks like. I wasn't trying to make anything happen, and I just felt it would be fun, exciting, light to go to Pomona Temple. So we go there, and it ends out that Person X is there. And in previous times we had seen him in different places, we wouldn't really talk, but this time I was just convinced that something was different because I called forth a different reality. So after 6.5 years of not talking to this guy, of having this guy ghost us, We connect for 3 hours at the temple. He happens to be there at the exact time that we're there. And this is how the law of attraction and the law of being, the law of assumption works, guys. God's ways are higher than your ways. Your infinite self, your higher being, has ways that you could not possibly engineer with your limited 3D conscious mind. So we end up chatting with him. I show off my new car, this actually, to him. He loves it, and guess what? Our friendship is reconnected. He now comes to our house regularly. We chat, and it's even better than the old days. His wife and him are on amazing terms with us. They kept reminiscing, saying, we thought about you guys every day for the last 6 years. We love having you in our life. I'm so sorry that we cut things off with you. And they blow up my mom's phone constantly now. It's ridiculous. You'd think that nothing had changed from 6 years ago. If I told you that we hadn't been talking for 7 years, you'd say we were crazy. But here's what happened, guys. The reality where they didn't talk to us existed, and this reality where they had always been on good terms with us also existed. And there's also a reality where they didn't talk to us, and they now are on better terms than ever before. That reality is also there, and I happen to call that reality forth. And this is proof that it doesn't matter whether it's a familiar relationship, a sort of fraternal love, whether it's a romantic love, whether it's a professional relationship at your office where you want your boss to respect you or your coworkers to love you more. You can change anything, and this is proof that time and circumstances are not a factor. You are infinite power, infinite light, and pure consciousness capable of being, doing, and having anything you want. If you haven't checked out my book, Paramorphing, on Amazon, the link is in my bio. Be well, take care, and I look forward to hearing your success story soon. Take care, guys. This is RJ Hari. I love you all. Be safe, and we'll be back with another fantastic video. Until next time.